Welcome to a journey that will transform the chaotic noise in your mind into profound inner stillness. I am Harmony Ziba, and today we explore the exhausting cycle of overthinking that affects millions of people worldwide, stealing sleep, clouding judgment, and creating endless loops of worry that seem impossible to escape. The constant mental chatter that plays in your head is not a character flaw or personal weakness. It is a pattern that neuroscience can now explain, and more importantly, a pattern that can be completely rewired. Your brain has the remarkable ability to change throughout your entire life, and this neuroplasticity holds the key to mastering the art of a quiet mind. Most people believe that overthinking is simply thinking too much, but research reveals something far more specific. Overthinking occurs when your brain gets stuck in what neuroscientists call repetitive negative thinking patterns, where the same thoughts circle endlessly without reaching resolution or creating actionable solutions. These patterns activate specific regions of your brain, particularly the default mode network, which becomes hyperactive when you are not focused on the present moment. Understanding how your brain creates these thought loops is the first step toward dissolving them permanently. Today, we will explore the precise mechanisms that keep you trapped in mental chaos and learn the scientifically proven techniques that can restore the natural quietness of your mind. The neuroscience of overthinking reveals a fascinating yet troubling picture of how our modern brains have become hijacked by ancient survival mechanisms. When you overthink, your brain activates the same neural pathways it would use if you were facing a physical threat. The amygdala, your brain's alarm system, sends signals that flood your system with stress hormones, while your prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thinking, becomes overwhelmed and less effective. This creates what researchers call the overthinking trap, where the more you think about a problem, the less capable you become of solving it. Your default mode network, which should only activate during rest, becomes stuck in overdrive, constantly scanning for problems and creating scenarios that may never happen. What makes overthinking particularly insidious is its addictive quality. Each time you engage in repetitive thinking, your brain releases small amounts of dopamine, creating a biochemical reward for the very behavior that causes your suffering. This explains why telling someone to simply stop overthinking is like telling someone with a physical addiction to just stop using. The neural pathways have become so deeply grooved that they fire automatically without your conscious permission. However, this same plasticity that created the problem also holds the solution. Every time you interrupt an overthinking pattern and redirect your attention, you weaken those neural pathways while strengthening new ones that support mental clarity and peace. The cost of allowing overthinking to control your mind extends far beyond mental discomfort. When your brain is constantly in analysis mode, it diverts energy from other essential functions, leaving you physically exhausted even when you have not engaged in demanding activities. Your immune system becomes compromised as stress hormones suppress its effectiveness, making you more susceptible to illness and slower to heal. Sleep becomes elusive because your mind refuses to power down, leading to a cycle where fatigue makes overthinking worse and overthinking makes fatigue deeper. Decision-making becomes paralyzed as you analyze every possible outcome until even simple choices feel overwhelming and complex. The relationships in your life also suffer when overthinking dominates your mental landscape. You may find yourself constantly analyzing what others said or did, reading negative meanings into neutral interactions, or rehearsing conversations that have already ended. This mental preoccupation prevents you from being fully present with the people you care about, creating distance and misunderstanding where connection should flourish. Your loved ones may feel like they are competing with the noise in your head for your attention, and over time, this can erode the quality of your most important relationships. The irony is that most of what you overthink about these relationships never actually happens. Yet the mental energy spent worrying about imaginary problems creates real relationship challenges. Now, we come to the heart of our journey together, the quiet mind mastery framework that will transform your relationship with your thoughts permanently. This is not about suppressing or fighting your thoughts, which research shows only makes them stronger and more persistent. Instead, we will work with the natural intelligence of your brain to create new patterns that support mental clarity and peace. The framework consists of 4 essential steps that build upon each other, creating a comprehensive system for mastering your mental landscape. Think of this as training for your mind, similar to how you would train your body for physical fitness, requiring consistency and patience, but delivering profound and lasting results. Step 1 is recognition without resistance, which means learning to notice when your mind has entered an overthinking loop without immediately trying to change it. Most people make the mistake of fighting their thoughts the moment they notice them, which actually strengthens the neural pathways they want to weaken. Instead, you will learn to observe your thoughts with the same detached curiosity you might have when watching clouds move across the sky. This recognition creates a space between you and your thoughts, allowing you to see that you are not your thoughts, but the awareness that observes them. When you can maintain this observer perspective, overthinking begins to lose its grip on your mental state automatically. Step 2 involves redirection through focused attention, where you deliberately guide your mental energy towards something concrete and present, rather than abstract and future-focused. This is not about forcing your mind to go blank, which is impossible, but about giving it something specific and engaging to focus on instead of the repetitive loops that create suffering. The key is choosing focus points that require just enough mental engagement to interrupt the overthinking pattern without becoming another source of stress or complexity. Your brain can only fully focus on one thing at a time, so when you redirect your attention skillfully, the overthinking pattern naturally dissolves. Step 3 is rewiring with intentional practices, where you consistently choose thoughts and mental activities that create the neural pathways you want to strengthen. Every time you catch yourself overthinking and successfully redirect your attention, you are literally rewiring your brain. The neurons that fire together wire together. So by repeatedly choosing present moment awareness over future worry or past regret, you make this choice easier and more automatic over time. This step requires patience because neural rewiring happens gradually, but the changes compound, creating dramatic improvements in your mental landscape over weeks and months of consistent practice. Step 4 is reinforcement of new neural pathways, where you create environmental and lifestyle supports that make quiet mind states more likely to occur naturally. This involves examining the factors in your life that trigger overthinking and making strategic changes to reduce their impact, while simultaneously creating conditions that support mental clarity. Just as you might organize your home to support healthy eating or exercise habits, you can organize your mental environment to support the quiet mind mastery you are developing. Let me guide you through several powerful techniques you can use immediately when you notice overthinking beginning to take hold. The first is the cognitive distancing technique, which creates space between you and your thoughts. When you catch your mind in an overthinking loop, try referring to yourself by name instead of using first-person language. Instead of saying, "I am worried about tomorrow's presentation," say, "Sarah is worried about tomorrow's presentation." This simple shift activates different neural pathways and helps you see your thoughts as temporary mental events rather than absolute truths. You can also practice thought labeling by simply saying, thinking, when you notice overthinking patterns, without judgment or attempts to change them. Physical anchor points provide another powerful way to interrupt overthinking and return to the present moment. Place your palm on your chest and feel the steady rhythm of your heartbeat, using this physical sensation to ground yourself in your body rather than being lost in mental noise. Try the 5-finger focus technique by touching each fingertip to your thumb while naming something you can see in your environment, creating immediate present moment awareness. Press your feet firmly into the ground and notice the sensation of solid support beneath you, reminding your nervous system that you are safe and stable in this moment. Environmental resets can interrupt overthinking patterns by changing your physical context. Simply walking to a different room when caught in mental loops can be enough to break the pattern, as your brain associates different environments with different mental states. Change the lighting in your space from bright to dim, or vice versa, to create a shift in your mental state. Step outside briefly, or splash cool water on your wrists to create a physical reset that signals to your nervous system that something has changed and the old pattern no longer needs to continue. Structured thought journaling provides a way to externalize the mental noise so it no longer needs to cycle through your mind repeatedly. Set a timer for 10 minutes and write down all your worries and concerns. Then close the journal when time expires, giving your mind permission to let go of those thoughts since they are now safely recorded. Create 2 columns in your journal, separating what you actually know to be true from what you are imagining might happen, helping you distinguish between facts and mental fiction. For each worry you identify, write 1 concrete action you can take, no matter how small, shifting your mental energy from problem focus to solution focus. Sensory engagement techniques redirect your attention to present moment physical experiences that are happening right now, rather than future scenarios your mind is creating. Hold different textured objects, like a smooth stone or piece of rough fabric, and focus entirely on the physical sensation, allowing the immediate sensory experience to anchor you in the present. Spend 60 seconds identifying and naming every sound you can hear in your environment, using your sense of hearing to pull your attention out of mental loops and into present moment awareness. Choose 1 object in your space and notice 5 specific details about it that you have never observed before, using focused visual attention to interrupt overthinking patterns. Building long-term mental mastery requires understanding that quiet mind states are like physical fitness, requiring consistent daily practice rather than intense occasional efforts. Just as you would not expect to run a marathon without training, you cannot expect to master your mental landscape without regular practice of these techniques. Start with just 5 minutes each morning practicing one of these techniques, gradually building your capacity over time. Your brain learns through repetition and consistency, rather than intensity. So gentle daily practice will create more lasting change than sporadic, intense efforts. Be patient with yourself as you develop these new neural pathways. Your brain has been practicing overthinking patterns for years or decades, so it will take time to establish new default patterns. Notice and celebrate small improvements rather than expecting dramatic changes immediately. Some days your mind will feel quieter than others, and this is completely normal. What matters is your commitment to the practice, rather than perfect results every time. Create environmental supports that make quiet mind states more likely to occur naturally. Notice what situations, people, or activities tend to trigger your overthinking and see if you can modify or limit your exposure to these triggers while you are building your mental mastery. Surround yourself with people who support your growth and understand your commitment to mental wellness. Choose activities and entertainment that support calm mental states rather than those that create agitation or anxiety. Your journey toward quiet mind mastery begins with your very next thought. You now possess the knowledge and tools to transform the mental chaos that has been stealing your peace into the profound stillness that is your natural state. Remember that every moment offers a fresh opportunity to choose present moment awareness over future worry, observation over absorption, and peace over mental noise. Your brain is waiting to support these new choices, and with consistent practice, what once felt impossible will become as natural as breathing. If this resonates with your desire for mental freedom, subscribe to our channel for more neuroscience-based approaches to personal transformation. Share this video with someone who needs to remember that peace of mind is not just possible, but achievable through understanding and working with the incredible plasticity of their brain. Your quiet mind is not a destination, but a way of being that you can access in any moment you choose to remember who you truly are beneath the noise. Remember this truth as you continue your journey. You are not your thoughts. You are the peaceful awareness that has the power to observe them, redirect them, and ultimately master them. Your quiet mind is waiting for you to come home,